In a cool green forest, under the gentle sunlight of early morning, a little ant was diligently making its way forward. On its back lay a piece of bread many times larger than its body, yet each step remained steady, persistent, always heading toward the nest. The forest path was rugged, full of dry leaves and stones, but the ant uttered not a single complaint. Its bright eyes shone with focus and determination. It knew clearly that every bit of food gathered today would become a firm support for tomorrow. Not far away, on branches swaying with the breeze, a jade-green grasshopper was hopping joyfully. The symphony of nature blended with its cheerful laughter, echoing throughout the forest. The grasshopper enjoyed every cool gust of wind, every warm ray of sunshine, carefree and unbothered. Its thin wings shimmered in the light, beating rhythmically with each leap. For it, life was about the present moment, playing, singing, and savoring joy. While the ant poured all its strength into work, the grasshopper seemed to drift freely among the illusions of liberty. One was an image of perseverance, meticulous effort, and preparation. The other embodied innocence, impulsiveness, and living every second to the fullest. Two fates, two opposite choices, yet both began in the same beautiful forest. And it was this very difference that would eventually lead them down two entirely different roads when life's true challenges arrived. Seeing the ant bent low under the weight of the bread, its shoulders straining, the grasshopper laughed and sprang lightly onto a nearby rock. Stretching out its legs, flicking its wings under the morning sun, it teased, "Hey, little ant, every day I see you lugging grains of rice and wheat, and now even a giant piece of bread. You never stop to rest, never know how to play. Life is short, so why toil away like this? Look at me, singing, leaping, enjoying the cool breeze. Isn't that far more delightful?" The ant gently set down the bread, brushed the dust from its brow, and calmly replied, "I don't work only for today. I prepare for tomorrow, for the long rainy season and the harsh winter to come. Just 4 months of hard work, and I will have enough food and a strong home to live in peace for the remaining 8 months." Hearing this, the grasshopper burst out laughing, twirling a blade of grass in its hand like a toy. Tomorrow? Who knows what tomorrow will bring? We may not even be alive by then. As for me, I live fully for today, cherishing every moment. You're wasting your youth on toil, and what will you even remember later on? The ant only smiled, saying no more. It lifted the bread once again and walked on. In its eyes, fleeting joy could never replace lasting peace. Day after day passed, and the forest began to change bit by bit. The golden rays of summer grew harsher, while the lush green leaves slowly turned yellow. As flocks of birds chirped and flew away to find shelter from the coming cold, the ant never stopped working. At every dawn, it left the nest early, carrying grains and crumbs, patiently filling its storeroom. At dusk, when the sun sank behind the mountains, it busied itself sealing cracks with clay and dry leaves, turning the tiny nest into a sturdy fortress. 4 months slipped by in a blink. Then one day, the sky suddenly turned dark gray. Clouds swelled and churned, winds roared like they wanted to tear the forest apart. Thunder split the heavens, lightning flashed and lit up vast stretches of land. And then came the heavy raindrops, pouring endlessly. In no time, the ground turned into a muddy mirror, the drenched leaves sagged, and the small forest streams surged into torrents. Amid this chaos, the ant's nest stood firm. Inside, the little ant sat in its dry, cozy home, surrounded by neatly stacked jars of food. Outside, nature raged, but within lay a warm, safe haven. It was the reward of countless days of steady, tireless effort. Meanwhile, somewhere in the storm, another creature was beginning to taste the bitterness of a life wasted on play. Inside the small yet sturdy nest, the ant sat serenely among its jars of food. The raindrops outside were nothing but distant sounds, unable to disturb the peace within. The air was warm and dry, strengthening its sense of security. Looking around, the ant smiled. The past 4 months of toil had now become a shield of protection. No hunger, no cold, no fear of the howling winds. Instead, it could rest, enjoy the quiet, and prepare to welcome long days of peace ahead. By contrast, the grasshopper, once arrogant in its disregard for preparation, now struggled miserably in the seasonal storm. Each gust of wind whipped its fragile wings, leaving them trembling, too weak to leap. Rain lashed its face, mud clung to its legs. The once vibrant leaves that had been its stage for songs now hung tattered, soaked, and offered no shelter. Hunger gnawed, cold pierced its skin, and loneliness engulfed it, making the grasshopper shiver uncontrollably. Then, the fleeting joys of singing and wandering suddenly became meaningless. In its heart welled up bitter regret. If only it had thought ahead. If only it had spared a little time for tomorrow. But if only could never fill an empty stomach nor warm a trembling soul in the storm. Through the downpour, the grasshopper staggered along the muddy path. Its soaked wings sagged heavily, unable to fly, its weary legs nearly gave out beneath it. Memories of carefree songs and mocking laughter toward the ant flooded back, and shame mingled with regret overwhelmed its heart. With nowhere left to go, nothing left to eat, the grasshopper had only one hope, the ant's sturdy nest. At the door it hesitated before knocking softly. After a moment, the little door creaked open. A warm light spilled out, revealing the haggard, drenched face of the lost wanderer. The ant saw its old friend, and kindness shone in its gentle eyes. Without a word of reproach, it quietly welcomed the grasshopper inside. Within, the space was dry and warm, like another world. Jars of food stood neatly in rows, a small fire flickered with comforting heat. The grasshopper huddled in a corner, nibbling the piece of bread offered by the ant, head bowed in silence. Shame weighed heavily in its chest. It knew that its laziness and recklessness had led it here. Yet in that same moment, it also realized something far more precious. Perseverance, preparation, and kindness could save a life. The ant's story became an indelible lesson in its heart, reminding it that short-lived pleasures could never replace lasting safety and peace. The story of the ant and the grasshopper does not end with work versus idleness, but reflects a simple law of life. What we sow today will be what we reap tomorrow. The joy of the present is something we all long for, yet if we live only in the moment and forget the future, that joy will quickly fade, leaving only emptiness when trials arrive. The ant teaches us that preparation is not a burden, but a shield protecting us from life's storms. Each grain carefully stored, each crack patiently sealed, is a symbol of the small efforts we make today. Those tiny actions can one day become the foundation of security and peace. The grasshopper, on the other hand, reminds us that living without foresight, lost in short-term pleasures, leaves us with nothing but regret when adversity strikes. Life is uncertain, but precisely because of that, preparation becomes all the more necessary. Whether you are young and full of energy, struggling to rebuild your life, or already in the later years of your journey, it is never too late to begin. One wise step today can open the door to many peaceful tomorrows. Ultimately, the choice rests in each of our hands: fleeting pleasure now, or lasting safety, freedom, and peace later. Like the little ant, let the efforts you make today become the firm foundation of a future you can truly be proud of.